Hello everyone, welcome to Designer Square by Ohomes. I am Asmi Vijayavargiya and we wish you all a very happy New Year's and a very happy 2026, and I hope that it fills you with prosperity and joy. And in today's video we have come up with a very unique topic, and we will be discussing and talking about the Korean decor and the interior Indian decor and how they can blend together, if they can blend at all, and the similarities and differences between them. So let's get right into it. I would like to begin by first bringing you through an overview of the Indian decor styles and what the interior design in India really captures. One biggest major thing in any type of interior designs in India is the symbolism in it and the rich cultural layers provided in it. One of the biggest things that Indian interiors follow in their housing designs and even architecture is the Vastu Shastra, which is the belief of placing your objects, your items, your rooms, and even the face of your house in certain directions and in certain ways and in certain places in order to bring more prosperity into your house. Like the north direction is considered the best direction of them all, and north facing houses also have a higher value because of it. India also has a lot of rich cultural layers into their houses, um, especially like objects and motifs inside the house which carry meaning rather than just decorations in there. The next thing, which is also really important, is the color palette. In India, we think of having houses and interior decor style with more rich palettes. India has a bit more of a maximalist style in it, including in its color palettes and everything. We're talking about proper royalty here, like deep reds, deep blues, turmeric yellow, and colors like that. We have emerald green and saffron houses, and there's also this metallic gold brass textures into the house, and the walls and textiles and these accents, they often celebrate these. The Indian interior decor style also captures a lot of earthy and homey styles inside of their house. Like a lot of the it has mixed materials and also a lot of handcrafted textures. Like we can imagine wood carved furniture in the house, like wooden tables, wooden sofas, and there are also a lot of carved designs in the house. They also have a lot of mixed materials, including elements of stone, jute, brass, copper, and also the hand woven fabrics. They dominate inside of the house. There's carved woodwork, there's inlaid stones, and there's also a lot of hand printed textiles inside of the Indian aesthetic. And the Indian aesthetic also focuses a lot on functional houses, which are built for communal spaces. And they are usually made for hosting a large generations of families, because in India, a lot of the families are joint families and people prefer to live together with each other and have this whole homey and family first approach into it. So the spaces are big, made for celebration. There are integrated large dining setups, there's community lounging props, and it is always and a flexible bedroom style, and it is all very big family, big space focus. And the biggest and most loveliest thing about the Indian decor is their ornamentation and their pattern abundance, especially when we talk about the amount of decoration they have and their stuff like the brocades and the screens that they have, and the patterns are expressive in the houses. Like there is a lot of traditional decor, traditional motifs and artwork inside of the houses. There are these jaali screens which are stepped in the windows and all that, and there are traditional murals all over the house, which brings this very charming vibes inside of the home. Moving forward to the Korean decor now. Korean decor is a lot more minimalistic. They feature soft patterns inside of the house, and it is very much inspired by Hanok architecture, which focuses on calm, aesthetic places and just a lot of modern minimalism, spaces that are uncluttered and also thoughtfully curated. So when we're talking about colors in this pattern, we're talking about soft and muted patterns like warm beige, off-white, there is soft grey, there is sage green, dusty rose, so colors like that. And accent colors are minimal and also intentional. So the Korean decor focuses a lot on its whole minimalist vibes, having an uncluttered space, having a space which feels very calming and relaxing as inspired by the Hanok architecture. So when we put the emphasis, then the major part about it is the lighting that they have. They have very clean lines and very airy spaces. We can talk about large windows, sheer curtains, and like light surfaces that maximizes the daylight. So basically, they focus a lot on natural lighting, getting inside of their houses, and having place which maximizes that daylight inside of their house. And the furniture is functional but also has this modular furnishing and is very modern in its own way. Like the furniture is sleek and it is multi-purpose, so like low seating, modular storage, there are hidden units and convertible layouts that adapt to the small urban living there. There is also this very quiet minimal ornamentation, so the decor is curated with a purpose on its own. Like there are ceramics there is subtle wall art and natural plants, and there are tonal textiles. So ornamentation is selective and quiet, just like the whole Korean vibe in itself. They aim to have this very selective style, they aim to have this very thoughtfully curated space which is supposed to be very open, airy, and uncluttered. It is supposed to be relaxing. Indian and Korean styles share more traits than you can imagine in their home aesthetic style. It may not be in the way you've imagined, but they sure do. And the biggest thing that they share is their respect for their natural materials. Like in India, they have this wood, stone, and natural textiles, like the Indian wooden carvings. And for Korea, they have the Korean hanji, that is paper. So their ceilings and doors, and it echo a deep connection to the whole nature vibe and this whole nature early feeling inside of their houses. The next thing that they share is a celebration of craftsmanship. Like in India, handcraft is a fundamental part of the interior spaces there. A lot of block printing, brassware, and wooden carving. Whereas in Korea, they have their own Korean ceramics, which are their moon jars and their onji, and there's woodworking there also, and their hanji craft. So craftsmanship and natural materials, they share a love for both of these, and they both have a blend of traditional and modernism. Like India and Korea both balance the modern life while also uprooting their heritage. Like the families retain cultural elements while welcoming modern comfort into their houses, and there's a strong sense of harmony in there. Like both of them treat their homes as a sanctuary. India treats their home as a sanctuary for gatherings and rituals, whereas Korea uses it as a more part of personal peace and relaxation purpose to it. And Korea utilizes it through tranquility and balance. And they both use textiles for comfort. And though the patterns differ in there, they play a big role into it. Like their embroidered quilts and silk draperies in India, whereas in Korea they have natural linen and cotton for warmth in their houses. Although Indian and Korean design share a lot of similar traits, they also have some differences into it, and the major difference is the difference between their styles. Like Korea is a big minimalist, whereas in India the interior design is very maximalist. You can see that in the color palette itself. Like the Indian color palette has a bit more intensity with very bold, saturated palettes into it. We're talking like turmeric yellow, deep blues, and reds. Whereas in Korean style, it's more muted, gentle, and more pastel leaning with their sage green and their dusty rose aesthetic. And next is we go on to the furniture scale. India has larger statement pieces, but in Korean houses, you mostly see like low comfort and space efficient houses, and you would also notice yourself seeing a very multi-purpose layout of their furniture and their whole decor style. There is also a big spatial approach difference in the two of them. Like India has a more layered, filled, and richly detailed aesthetic into the house, but Korea focuses more on airy, uncluttered, and minimal approach in their spatial approach. And the pattern usage is one thing in which India has abundance and overlapping. But in the Korean style, it's more minimal and singular. Another thing is that Indian homes have a big function and major role for spiritual gatherings, and they also have a lot of religious symbolism inside of their house with the Vastu Shastra and a lot of decor related to the festivals coming up in the house. But in the Korean style, they don't have as much religious symbolism in there. They just care about making the space feel uncluttered and relaxing. Now, with this age of very stressful work life balances and very stressful lives, a blend of the Indo Korean interior design style would be perfect for such modern lives these days. So, now I'm going to show you a few ways to build this hybrid model where you can blend these two things together and have your home a very cozy and cultural blend of the Indo Korean style. So, what you can have is this whole element, like take the bold Indian color palettes and muted Korean palettes and turn them into this place where there are a muted base, like the walls could be a very muted color or a plain color, and there are subtle pops of bold colors inside of the house like this. And you can have crafted but intentional furniture spacing inside of the house. So instead of having a pattern abundance inside of the house, you can have a carefully curated space where you've picked out a bunch of statement pieces and put them in a way that it doesn't feel very maximalist but soothing and a view catcher instead. Also, you can have selective patterning instead of an abundant style inside of your patterns. And as for the textiles, take some textiles which are hand woven and handcrafted with a bit of a history and lineage, but place them intentionally and carefully inside the house. Have these functional and ritual zones, like a simple alcove with a single carved room, and like it has this wood frame and lighting, so the Indian spirit is there but it has a minimalist setting to it. And the living area can have low seating with neat cushions that echo the Indian patterns but in the muted palettes in itself. So you have the pattern but not the palette, if that makes sense. And the light and space management could be in a way that you use sheer drapes or use those Korean sliding panels, inspired by those hanji doors, and to divide spaces without blocking the light. So instead of having like doors and walls, you can just instead have these hanji panels, which are like maybe even translucent. So they give you the privacy, but they do not block light entirely. And you can add those traditional Indian jaali screens and select spots to have that texture without crowding the space. And the function and pattern can be all very have this very clean lines and select heirloom sort of look with a bunch of balanced zones inside of the house. So this is how you can blend together the Indian and Korean style. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. See you next time.